All praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Let's get right into this lesson.
I know my look was appealing enough, but not so overpowering that it overshadows the white lead.
What are you doing here? Oh, I know you didn't think you would be the only sophomore at the prom.
And so I was the perfect person to be the friend just left of center of this white girl. These, because there were a series of them. 10 Things I Hate About You. Then She's All That. Then the following summer, Bring It On. You know, and that was my bread and butter, like, for a long time. The bitchy, sassy friend.
Dress in my fit, makes it look like shit. We're the ones who are down with it.
Back in those days, my look was...
And as you can see, that, as she said, that, says right here, I'll read a caption. Gabrielle Union says when she landed a role in 10 Things I Hate About You, Hollywood didn't consider her attractive enough to be the lead. Right. And it was really more so that they probably kind of envisioned a so-called black woman, a Judite woman, being a lead at the time of a film like that. Right? But rather, they subjected her to the side to play the stereotypical rude, entitled, catty black woman, which has definitely affected, you know, our people today, honestly, right? Because you have a lot of black women that are catty, and a lot of black women, so-called black women, Judite women, watch, you know, when they watch these films growing up, they kind of copy, you know, what looks like them, right? So they end up bringing on those catty attitudes, and, you know, it's these attitudes that, as men, we do not like, right? And also, there used to be a time where the Judite man used to be the first person to die in a movie. Of course, a lot has changed, and that's no longer really the case. But now, no longer does Hollywood need to play the image of a catty black woman. The black woman does that all on her own now. Where the black woman herself is catty. Where the black woman herself plays the female dog. Right? Where the black woman herself shows that she is a whore on the world stage. It used to be that Hollywood would shove these things down your throat. Now it's so-called black women themselves doing it. Meg Thee Stallion as an example, right? Cardi B is also an example, right? Cardi B may not be so-called black, right? Which we're not black, we're really different shades of brown. But Cardi B could be part of the tribes, because we got the Hispanics, Native Americans, and so-called blacks, right? That make up the 12 tribes of Yasharala. So Cardi B also promotes whoredom. Meg Thee Stallion promotes whoredom, right? A lot of these female rappers of these tribes, of the southern tribe, promote whoredom, right? And as you can see, Hollywood, basically these people behind this curtain, right? These Edomites that are ruling in power, really can just sit back in their chair and wrap their arms, because, you know, you got these Southern Kingdom women really destroying themselves all on their own, and they're happy about it, right? And she said that beauty standards in the industry changed over time, but it doesn't change the fact that in a lot of cases, the Southern Israelite woman will still be, you know, side cast for the Edomite woman. And this is what we call white supremacy, right? Now let's get out the scripture here. says in 1 Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48, and laid open the book of the law wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images, right? Because you gotta understand, as Israel, we actually have a very rich history. Even though a lot of our history is in slavery, the accomplishments we have from our slavery and from things outside of our slavery when we were ruling is very massive, right? This is why the Edomites, they had to paint in our images. They had to, make certain words of the Bible be different. For instance, there are certain translations in the Bible right now where an ignorant person will read a verse in the Bible that says Sarah was a fair woman and think that she was white just because it said fair. But if you got the actual definition of that, fair didn't mean white back then. Fair just meant beautiful. Or another instance is where, you had the Bible and the Bible will read David was ruddy. And an ignorant person will think David was white, when really ruddy just means reddish brown. So not only did we have the heathen paint their images in our book, right? But they also mistranslated our book. This is why we have, strong concordance, blue letters, let's get out the scripture. Line upon line, precept upon precept. It says in Isaiah chapter 28, verse 10, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little, right? Because we know that coming in this end of the age, if it's like if Yahweh didn't choose these pastors for us, these apostles for us, like Apostle Tahar, right, and so on and so forth, we would not have the understanding of what the Bible really says. But thankfully, with these end of the world that's coming and Yahweh Shai coming soon, the truth is here. So therefore, when we read the Bible, we gotta understand these translations. We gotta, now we know fair just means beautiful. Now we know ruddy means reddish brown, right? We know the skin color of Yahweh Shai, according to Revelations, right? So now we're waking up to the fact that the heathen, Esau, Edom, no longer has a stronghold of his white supremacy image, right? As a matter of fact, let's get a scripture right here. It says in Romans chapter 9, verse 26, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God, right? So, we're in a time now where we need to be casting off this image that Esau put onto us. So in a lot of times in the media, Esau, even now, Esau promotes because he had the small hats, right? So even now you have Esau promote that the southern kingdoms are a bunch of thugs, right? You have Esau promoting that the so-called black woman is, basically a worthless whore female dog, right? And it has affected a lot of our people. But in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, we must be set apart and have no association with that image that Esau tries to put onto us. For we are holy people unto the Lord. And then what will end up happening is we'll have, once Yahweh Shai comes back, what we'll have is Israelite supremacy. So that's going to be an amazing time, brethren. But for now, it is nice seeing that the world is ending and that things have changed in such a short amount of time. So all praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Abad Baba, DTA, and Shalom.